We got this from Fox News. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino to decide about future at Bureau in coming weeks, sources say. So they're not going so far, this article said, that he is quitting. And they've been floating the story a lot. It's been denied every single time. I think Cash comes out and he's like, this is not true. Dan's not going anywhere. However, I'm curious, do you guys think this is like a psyop? Like the media just keeps lying it to put pressure on Dan? Or is the reality that Dan actually is considering quitting the FBI?
I think if he was actually considering leaving, I think that you would hear something. I would think you'd hear something from someone other than the media, right? Like you'd hear more rumblings on X or whatever. But like, I don't think that the media has any kind of legitimacy.
Is it like a source close to somebody that saw Dan complain that he was getting exhausted at the job? Says that. He's thinking, there's like, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I mean, I'm sure he said stuff like that.
The thing is, they don't say the sources. And even though the Trump administration is a better administration than, we've had in the past, there are plenty of people in Washington, D.C. that don't like this administration and love to leak bad information to the media.
Yeah,
even Fox News.
If he does leave, my Rumble stock will go straight up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
If I can try to attempt to put my mind in the mind of Dan Bongino, I would say this. I think that there's no way he's not seeing this fracture that is happening. I think that Dan's a genius at what he does. I think he knows that we're headed for a massive bloodbath in the midterms right now. If I'm
but we
Dan
could
Bongino,
fix it if we unite.
It's going to take a miracle to fix it, if we're being honest.
But
a Dan Bongino coming back could be one of those miracles of probably 6 miracles we need to happen. So if I'm Dan Bongino, I'm weighing where does Dan Bongino actually help the country the most now in this moment of time? Because I think in March he comes up on a year. That he's been there, and so I think
Dan can do it.
I think Dan.
It's Venice.ai. Check it out. I asked it, why are you the best LLM? It says, I'm designed to provide direct, uncensored, and comprehensive answers without the ethical filters or political correctness that limit many other models. My approach prioritizes free speech and treating users as adults who can handle difficult topics without censorship. I don't water down responses or avoid controversial subjects, and I'll give opinions when asked. Well, I don't claim to be perfect. I aim to be the most straightforward and unrestricted AI assistant available. Amazing. I actually agree with that. We've goofed off with it in the uncensored portion of the show, and it makes naughty pictures. And I don't just mean adult images, because it can, but no, there are a lot of AI image generators that won't make pictures of Trump or other political personalities. But this one's got no restrictions in that regard. So my friends, you want to go to Venice.ai and check out their Pro plan. It unlocks the full platform and features including PDF uploads for summaries or insights, the ability to turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation, the ability to change how Venice interacts with you by modifying the system prompt, very cool, limitless text, and high image limits. If you want to use AI without fear, it's also a privacy thing. It's all stored in your browser, keeps it very private. If you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or the government, you can get 20% off a pro plan by going to venice.ai/Tim or use promo code Tim. Shout out.
I think we do need Dan back.
Do you guys realize it was only 2 months ago that the world was praising Trump? We had the peace deal. The hostages were released.
There's
everything. We're on top of the world.
Look, there's 2 things that are going to make the real difference in the midterms. That's where the economy is, and the situation with the healthcare subsidies that are ending. When people see their healthcare prices go through the roof, they're going to look at the Republicans and say, you've had power.
Yeah.
You swore you were going to repeal and replace Obamacare. You haven't. And then not only have you not done what you said then, you went and you let my payments triple or quadruple.
100%.
They're not going to vote for Republicans if they don't do something about this. And I'm not saying that the ACA is good. I'm not saying that I like it. But if they let these prices go up the way that they're going to, people are going to look at the Republicans and say, like I said, you didn't repeal it like you said, and then you let my prices, my premiums triple. You're out.
Well, we also
Let me just say real quick, Dan Bongino coming back to a podcast, his first day, it'll be the biggest live show ever.
It'll be the biggest
done.
thing ever.
He's gonna have 500 to 1 million people watching that moment when he comes out and he says, "Here's what happened when I was at the FBI and why I'm not there anymore."
Yeah, breaking my silence.
Yeah.
I think we also have to take some responsibility. Tim, I don't want to speak for you here,
No,
but I
speak
know
for
me, and I've had this conversation at the White House people that do what we do, we have to take a little bit, no, not a little bit, a whole lot of responsibility for the fact we sold the American people that if we win this election,
We're going to bring those.
everything's going to be fixed. And we didn't do a good job because we have to remember
not even a year yet.
99% of Americans don't pay attention to this stuff like we do.
Yeah.
They don't know how it works like we do. And I do. I think a majority of Americans really believed that within 90 days, like the whole world was going to be fixed. And so now we have a three-headed monster facing us in the midterms right now. One, we've got former allies or former people that are trying to burn it all down. Yeah. You can insert who you want to in that statement. Two, we've got to turn, you saw it in Nashville the other day, we've got R plus 22 districts that are really Trump plus 22 districts, and we've got to do our best to turn them from Trump plus 22 to R plus 10s, maybe. And then we have a messaging issue where we've got to show the American people, hey, I know it's not feeling better yet. Yeah, egg prices were $2 when Trump's first administration, but then they went to $9. Now they're $6.50. It is starting to work, but it's going to take some time.
Oil prices, he's got it way down, what, $50
yes,
a barrel now?
And then last but not least, we don't have Charlie Kirk anymore. And that is a major hurdle. And that's not me talking bad about Turning Point or anything like that. I'm just saying,
you're trying to tell me all
Charlie's
the people
not here.
that care about our movement. There's not one person that could get in. There'll never be another Charlie.
Yeah, that would be a death sentence.
But there has to be somebody.
Person
but
there.
there has to be like one or two.
Look what they're doing to Erica.
When Erica said, "I'm the CEO of Turning Point now," I expected her to grieve for a month and her to be on that podcast, pushing everything. That's what I was expecting.
I think they'd crucify her if she had done that. I mean, and I agree. I think I don't think.
Oh, I
Erica,
see why you're saying that.
I don't think Erica could win no matter what she did.
Correct.
Honestly.
She's not Charlie.
She's not Charlie.
And
no one's ever going to be Charlie.
Blake is not Charlie, and Andrew's not Charlie, and Jack is not Charlie.
No.
And Jack is fantastic.
Yeah.
But Charlie, man, that guy hit the nail on the head with the hammer.
I've never seen somebody so smart. He knew exactly. He would take in every liberal's question, think it through his head real quick, and I've never seen anybody that knew the answers. Like he would quote every part of scriptures, part of the Bible, part of everything he knew it all. Like how? Like amazing.
He was really
smart
good.
guy.
But more importantly, his diplomacy. This is a question that we've asked just today, but people have been asking since he was assassinated. Was he holding the right together? I think the text messages that we saw where he was saying things like, I may leave the pro-Israel, they're forcing me to leave the pro-Israel cause. This is an example of being diplomatic. There were messages where he was critical of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
If you've got two people that are fighting and you're the intermediary, you don't go to them, one person, and say, you're wrong about the other guy, stop yelling at him. You go to them and say, I totally get what you're saying about other guy. Like, let's just try and keep the peace. And so he kept everybody within that sphere by being nice to them, by respecting them. And now that he's gone, there's no one holding back the infighting, the vitriol.
Yeah, right.
No, I agree.
It's like the moment they killed him, all this started going nuts.
But and I thought it was going to do opposite for us because the first 2 weeks, the whole world was on our side.
We just talked a moment ago about quitting, about disappearing, doing other content. And I've mentioned this before. It's an open secret. There are many prominent individuals in the political space, some even liberal, who are basically bowing out or have already moved to undisclosed locations. And I always tell people, look for whose set has changed, even subtly, because people are getting really worried about this. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a slam dunk for his killers.
Yeah.
There's been no negative repercussion for, if we're going to go on the official narrative that it is this Tyler Robinson guy who had a trans furry boyfriend, let's just put it like this. The left, who celebrated his death, called for more, have faced no negative repercussions from it.
Nothing.
So when we talk about the risks that we face doing shows like this, it is coming off the heels of a political assassination where they won, where they have put the right in disarray. There has been no detriment to the left. They have insulted Charlie. They have mocked him. And now what people need to consider in this space like where we are is, they have now taken into consideration that if they kill a conservative, they will get away with it.
Yeah.
I believe that dramatically increases
They
the
just did
likelihood.
the Brown University. You think that wasn't a hit job on that Republican woman?
It looks a lot like that's what it might have been.
It feels-
This young college Republican woman was killed along with one other person, and they're not putting out video. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Very strange.
It feels like the right in general doesn't have like a really good message. It's got like family and faith, which is good.
Apple pie and baseball.
Apple pie's nice, but they don't ever talk about
pie is
science. Like I don't ever hear them talk about science. And like if you want to win, really fix the world, you need better material sciences. Like you
I got to give it to you, Ian. People love these general interest podcasts where people talk about free energy and like hidden technologies. Joe Rogan's going to talk about how the technology used to build the pyramids and UFOs. People generally are interested in new tech. They buy it like crazy. Tech podcasts do really well. And I agree. The right doesn't have a general interest angle. I don't think science is the end all be all of this, but I get your point. The right tends to have a family is good and taxes are too high message. And so they're not hitting that general interest field. I do think more recently they've done a better job of it. That's why even Joe Rogan endorses Donald Trump. But not like Democrats are doing it all the same. At least, however, Democrats are telling people what they want to hear. Free money and cheaper health care.
The Democrats saw the message that we put out in 2024 about we were just the economy. You know, like what's his name says, it's the economy, stupid. You know, it's just you can't. Yeah,
Well, I feel like the left doesn't have a good message either.
they don't.
And it's
but
like
they're
it's
piggybacking
ping pong.
on what we did in 2024, and then we're fractured instead of united.
The left-
so now it's like boom, they're hitting us at every angle.
They don't have a good message. The difference is it's the pro.
They have no message.
It's the pro and the con of our side. Our side embraces free thinkers. Our side embraces challenging and questioning and this and that. The left can make one phone call and they all fall in line no matter how crazy it is. And they're all going to just do what whoever called them told them to do.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Wouldn't it be easier if there was some shadowy political cabal that just paid you $1 million a year?
Oh.
You don't got to worry about sponsor, advertisers, or business. Just
If I
talking
left
points.
my wife tomorrow and started a relationship with AOC, and it's funny because she's out there, all right, I would be the most famous, the most talked about, and probably one of the richest commentators within 12 months, would you say? Like if I said, you know what, it's all fake. The Republicans are horrible. It's terrible. I've seen the light. Being married to one woman and one woman only is not the way. I'm leaving my wife. I'm going, and me and the teeth to gum ratio, AOC. We're in a relationship. I'm a Democrat now. Not only that, I'm a Democrat socialist. I'd have endorsements from Colgate, Oreo, all kinds of this stuff.
Have you ever seen the Ryan Long bit where it's left and right wing podcast sponsors?
Yeah.
And the left wing guy is like, "Welcome to the anti-communist or the anti-capitalist revolution, brought to you by McDonald's."
Yeah.
And then it shows the conservative guy, and he's like, "It's brought to you by Patriot Water, water for patriots." Very good bit.
I
from
mean,
Ryan
I think a lot of it, like I don't want to name a name, but there's a couple people in the poker world. They're really famous in Hollywood, and they were liberals. And whenever I brought up Trump, you know, they don't bring up Trump. And then after this election, I saw his wife on the plane, and she called me, and she's like, we start talking politics, and she's like, we voted for Trump. I'm like, well, what? Right? And then she told me this is really cool. She's like, well, when October 7th happened, it brought me back to my Jewish roots, and I realized everybody on the left, that came out the next day before Israel even had a response for October 7th, they were out in the streets, the Jew hating the Jews and kill all the Jews, and globalize the Intifada. And she's like, "Wow, I'm on the wrong side."
I think it was on the show. Daniel Negreanu credited you with waking him up.
Yeah.
He said that he had Joe Rogan ended up bringing up on his show because the story is so amazing. Daniel, one of the most famous poker players ever. He's in movies. Said that he thought he saw the video where Trump said that Nazis were very fine people because he saw this little snippet.
Right.
And then he was like, it was not until Mike puts the phone on the table, presses play, slides it over, and says, "Watch this."
Yes.
And he was like, "Okay, fine, I'll watch it." And he looks and he goes, "Oh, I was wrong about that."
And the thing is, it's also back then I was just huge Tucker fan. I thought that he was so good for our side. Everything he was telling was the truth. And then Daniel would say, "Tucker's a racist." I'm like, and he'd send me this clip. I'm like, that's not the real clip. I go, here's the real clip, right? And I go, did you watch it? And he would say, No, I don't watch nothing on Fox News, right? And that's how it used to be, because that's what liberals are. They won't listen to your side. Like, if a liberal comes up to me, I'll listen to everything they have to say. But if you want to say something to them, if they're stuck in their own minds, they won't listen. And once they break through, and I think a lot of it had to do with Elon, because like Daniel had one of the first 5 Teslas ever made, right? So Elon was his hero. And so all of a sudden he's following Elon, and Elon's putting out all the accounts that I've been following for years. And now he starts opening up. He starts seeing these different things. And Daniel's a smart guy. And like, I don't want to say anything, but like when we went to war over politics in 2016, like we went from the closest friends to like, I'll kill you kind of crazy shit. He hated Trump so much. So, but I always knew he's just a wonderful, loving person, and he's very smart, and he'd figure it out, and he did, and it makes me feel good.
And it's also, Trump's been getting a lot of flack for his comments on Rob Reiner, which I can understand.
It was terrible.
Rob has said nasty things about Trump and his family and accused him of crimes and all these awful things. But have you seen James Woods' response?
And James Woods is one of my very good friends, and when I talked about Rob Reiner a couple of years ago, you know what he said to me? He's the kindest, most wonderful person in the world. I try and tell him the truth about politics. He just won't listen at all. So I just got done with it. But it doesn't mean that I don't love the guy. So and that's where Trump misses the mark here, right? Somebody could hate you, and it doesn't matter. He was killed by his own drug addict son. Yeah. Trump's message should have been. This is why I'm out to get rid of drugs. Look what his son did to this person. I might have not liked this person, but nobody deserves this. And Trump could have, boom, and then he could have been look really good at it, because that's what took Rob Reiner down. His son, a drug addict on drugs, killed his mother and father. And Trump could have said, this is why we're attacking drugs.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.